When Geraldine and I tell our girls about growing up in the 80s and 90s, it's like talking about a whole different planet.
We used to play outside till the street lights came on.
We drank straight out of the water hose, ran everywhere, explored, got lost, got hurt, busted our knees, our heads, and our butts. Nobody knew where we were, what we were doing, or who we were with.
I'm Chris Jones. I'm a rocket scientist, a minister, and a girl dad. And I have a theory about why childhood and everything else feels different now. Because gravity hasn't changed, but the price of a trip to the hospital has.
Blue jeans, Jordans, gas, groceries, and health insurance.
Everything is more expensive, and it's scaring us out of risk, innovation, and the joy of life itself. It was more affordable to fall, to fail, to get back up. And our parents trusted America enough to let us run free. Bankruptcy was for gamblers and crooked real estate developers, not middle-class families, not teachers, not cancer patients.
I'm running for Congress because the fall of the American working class wasn't an accident. It was a political decision. Meet my congressman, French Hill, the most powerful banker in America.
He's my opponent, but he's your problem too. He chairs the Financial Services Committee and fights anything that looks like consumer protection. The law to limit overdraft fees to $5.
This is a change that could save American households $5 billion in overdraft charges every year.
French Hill killed it. Yep, they even found a way to make being broke more expensive.
If there's anybody who's got to go, it's him. I'm blessed. I studied hard, earned 2 degrees from Morehouse College, then 2 masters and a PhD from MIT. I married my best friend, who's a combat veteran and an ER doctor. God gave us 3 beautiful daughters, and along that journey, I earned the votes of 319,000 Arkansans who believe we deserve better. I have good news for you. You can still go outside till the street lights come on. We call it organizing. Just you and a few friends fighting for your freedom, standing up for each other. We have 12 months to win this election.
We have a poll that makes this a 1-point race and a grassroots organization that has been growing for 3.5 years.
This district is full of fighters. We're doing the hard work, and we need you to join us.
It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? It is showtime. Geno Jones Showtime. I am here. It is Wednesday. Some call it Hump Day. On my radio show in the morning, I call it Working Divas Wednesday. Thank you for being here. Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Chicago, stand up, Chi-Town. I see you, everybody in the Midwest, at Central Time Zone, from Minneapolis to Milwaukee to Memphis, Tennessee, down there in Houston, Texas, and Dallas. Yeah, Texas. There's a lot going on in Texas. You know, I talked about that last night. New Orleans, stand up. I see you, Louisiana. You got this tropical storm coming that way. Live in Los Angeles and Las Vegas, everybody on the West Coast, 4:30 in the afternoon. All right, programming note from the very top of the show. We're about 2 weeks away from a new start time. It'll be 7 p.m. All right, soon, coming soon. New start time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. on the West Coast. And if you live in Denver, in the Rocky Mountain time zone, we'll be coming on at 5. But right now it's about 5:30 out in Denver, Colorado, out in the Mountain time zone. I'm so glad to have you. Tell everybody. Now, do me a favor here. From the very top, see that thumbs up below? Click on it for a brother. Like, share, and subscribe. Now, let me see. Let me translate that. What does that really mean? Like, of course, thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up button, all right? Share, that means you can copy and paste the link. Copy and paste it. You can copy and paste it in an email, in a text message. You can copy and paste it on your forehead. Bam! You can copy it. You can copy and paste it on your butt cheeks. Bam! You can copy and paste it on your neck. I don't care where you copy and paste it. On your belly button, on your pecs, whatever you want to do. Copy and paste the link to the show. Like, share, and subscribe. Yes, if you haven't done it, please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. My goal, 500,000, 500,000 new subscribers by the end of the year. We got about 5 months to go. We can look, I have faith in you. I know you're going to make it happen. You've made it happen for me now. I'm about almost approaching 1.5K subscribers. So thank you. I can't thank you enough. Let's get right into the show. Today is July 22nd. If you are celebrating a birthday, last days for cancers, cancer stand up. You were celebrating a birthday with rapper from North Carolina right up the way, Petey Pablo. Had the hits Freak a Leak, early 2000s, and Raise Up. So my man Petey Pablo, 53 today. Danny Glover, iconic actor, iconic civil rights activist, iconic social justice warrior. He recently announced publicly that he is dealing with, I believe, early stages of Alzheimer's. So we got to lift brother Danny Glover up in prayer. Danny Glover is 80 today. Celebrating a birthday, man, R&B superstar. Released one of the greatest debut albums of all time, about 40 years. Damn, I think this is the year. Oh, yeah, I got to holler at him. Are you going to do something special? I remember Keith Sweat's Make It Last Forever album. Beats by Teddy Riley and Keith. Make It Last Forever and something. They had, like, one side was the up-tempo jam, something just ain't right, and I want her. And then you had, like, Make It Last Forever. You had Right and Wrong Way. Woo, that Right and Wrong Way brings back some memories. Girl, it's a right and wrong way to love somebody's body. Wow. Come on, Keith Sweat. Happy birthday to my man. Also, he's got a radio show, The Sweat Hotel. He's got this luxury line of luggage. Man, shout out to Keith. Man, I'd love to get one of them bags and one of them little travel rollers, Keith. Hook a brother up, Keith Sweat. Go ahead, screenshot it, send it to Keith, snatch this video, clip this part out right there. Happy birthday, Keith Sweat. 65 today. Brother, still looking good, man. You're taking care of yourself, drinking your water, getting your rest, doing all the things you need to do. Speaking of music, today, happy birthday to the man, the godfather of P-Funk, the man whose music was so bad, so influential, that 20 years after he first released this music, a whole new generation of rappers and producers sampled his music. As a matter of fact, you wouldn't have 90s hip-hop and R&B. You really wouldn't have like 90s hip-hop if it wasn't for this man 20 years earlier. Got in the lab up in Detroit City and produced probably three of the greatest and three of the most funkiest albums. And three of the greatest albums ever. I'm talking about Mothership Connection. I am talking about One Nation Under a Groove. And I'm talking about Uncle Jam Wants You. And then after that, he came with Atomic Dog. George Clinton, the godfather of P-Funk. Happy 85th birthday. He was just down at Essence Festival and had a stage full of folks on there, including my girl Kim Burrell. So he had the gospel singers in the name of the Lord getting funky, getting baptized into P-Funk. George Clinton, One Nation Under a Groove, getting down just for the funk of it. One nation under a groove, nothing can stop us now. Come on, ah ha ha. And then Knee Deep, probably the greatest party song for me, party anthem of all time. Not just Knee Deep, she was such knee deep when she did the Freak with Me. And then the late great Felipe, do you know that? Felipe Wynn of the Spinners? That's him. Ants in your pants and I need to dance. I got ants in my pants and I need to dance. Come on, Felipe Wynn. The late great Felipe Wynn on the co-lead vocals. Ants in my pants and I need to dance. I got ants in my pants and I need to dance. Come on. Knee Deep, Mothership Connection, Star Child, Citizens of the Universe. Come on. The P-Funk, The Bomb, Flashlight, Neon Light, Spotlight. Now I lay me down to sleep. Come on. Man, are you what? I could go on and tear the roof off the sucker, tear the roof off the sucker, tear the roof off the sucker. Give up the funk. Hit me with the bop gun. We love you, Dr. Funkenstein. Yo, funk is the best. Take my body, give me the mind to funk with the rest. Come on, what? Aqua Boogie, free your mind and your ass will follow. Some of the most iconic musicians. Shout out to the late great Bernie Worrell. All that synthesizer, the keyboard and them cold-blooded and bad synthesizers that everybody from Dr. Dre and hey mama that sampled in the 90s to produce their hits. That's why I say the 70s is the greatest era of music in human history. Because the music of the 70s, which was led by, there's a lot of folks, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, Earth, Wind, and Fire. But when you talk about the funk that George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic created, and out of that group you had Bootsy's Rubber Band, shout out to Bootsy Collins. Then you had the Brides of Funkenstein, you had Parlette. Come on now, don't play with it. That P-Funk, 20 years later, you wouldn't have Dr. Dre and Snoop, you would not have the Chronic album, one of the greatest albums ever. The Chronic is just basically One Nation Under a Groove and Knee Deep. Is One Nation Under a Groove and Uncle Jam Wants You. That's the album that had Knee Deep on it. If you just took those beats and everything on the Chronic is from the P-Funk era. The whole G-Funk, as Dre calls it, gangster funk, G-Funk, it's all P-Funk. It's all George Clinton's Parliaments and Funkadelics, Bernie Worrell's keyboards, not to mention Fred Wesley and Maceo Park. So when Fred and them got tired of James, and James fired Fred Wesley and Maceo, they joined George Clinton's band. So they were all a part of Parliament Funkadelic. Bootsy Collins on the bass and the drums. I was talking about the song Knee Deep. Did you know that Bootsy was on the drums? On the drums and the bass guitar. Like Felipe Wynn on the lead vocals for Knee Deep. The greatest ultimate party anthem, especially funky. In terms of funk, the greatest party anthem ever. But One Nation Under a Groove is right there with them. I could go on and on and on. And wait a minute. Atomic Dog. After all that, then he came with and all the shout out to all the Qs. That's their anthem. Man, when George Clinton, I don't know if George Clinton is a Q or not, part of the Divine Nine Black fraternity, but man, all the Qs, when George Clinton came out with Atomic Dog, it was a wrap. So shout out, happy birthday to the godfather of P-Funk, George Clinton. Like I said, they were just on stage at Essence Festival. The 4th of July weekend. So we're talking about 3 weeks ago. So shout out to George Clinton, 85. Brother, looking good. Black ain't cracking, George. You're doing your thing, man. Getting your rest, drinking your water, eating your vegetables. Be careful with this lettuce. Be careful with this lettuce. People getting this explosive diarrhea and what is it? Cyclospora? Some crazy name, Cyclospora. Something, contaminated lettuce, and people are getting this like explosive diarrhea. That just sounds, oh God, man, who wants that? So you got to be very careful with the lettuce, the just find a black farmer. Find a farmer's market, find some black farmers, because that's what I'm doing now. This weekend, we're going to get some, I don't trust I'm sorry, supermarkets. I'm not messing with you all. I don't trust your lettuce because I know you get it. These corporate farms, and they don't give a damn about nobody. And this regime, the FD, they don't care about people getting sick or dying. They just want these companies to be able to just make as much money as they can. They don't have to take any safety precautions. If folks, if there's some kind of contamination and folks get sick and die, oh well, that's their attitude. So you got to protect yourself out there. So once again, I hope all my P-Funk fans, I hope you enjoyed the opening monologue. I am such a huge George Clinton fan, I guess you can tell. All right, so let me shift gears and segue. Shout out to the family of Nolan Wells. They were in Chicago. So it was an independent autopsy. Their son was found in the water. He went out with a bunch of white kids who were his friends, but his friends showed up to his mother's house, his mother and his father's house, with Nolan's keys and his cell phone, but no Nolan, and nobody knew what happened. And then they found his body in the water. It was, I think this lake is called Horn Lake, which is right near Ocean Springs, Mississippi, which is only about 2 miles east of Biloxi, Mississippi. So that's like the southern part, right there on they call it it's right on the Gulf, right on the shores of Mississippi, right where the Mississippi River ends, right there. So there was an independent autopsy that was paid for by my man Colin Kaepernick, former NFL star, San Francisco 49ers, who the NFL did dirty just because the brother was kneeling, and he was kneeling. He took a knee to protest police brutality and police murdering innocent, unarmed black men. And that's what he took a knee for. And as a matter of fact, it was a member of the military that suggested that he would take a knee, because initially, Colin just basically, when the national anthem came on, he would just, as a matter of fact, he just kind of stood there. And apparently there's a veteran who was a fan of the 49ers that had a conversation with Colin Kaepernick. And this veteran suggested to Colin Kaepernick that he should take a knee if he wants to honor the innocent black people, black men that were murdered by police. He said, take a knee, because in the military, when one of our brothers or sisters have died or are fallen, to honor them, they took a knee. So Colin Kaepernick got the idea of taking a knee from a member of the U.S. military, but they vilified him for that, banned him, basically whiteballed him. No team in the NFL would take him. And he was for years, he probably still is better than probably a third of the quarterbacks in the NFL. Now, some of these backup quarterbacks, Colin Kaepernick could come on a roster right now and be a better backup quarterback than dudes under contract right today, to this very second. I digress. But Colin Kaepernick paid for the independent autopsy for Nolan Wells. So the results came back from the independent autopsy, and the results came back. The results from the independent autopsy were released, and they came back undetermined. And during this press conference, it was pointed out, and it was mentioned that somehow when this independent autopsy was performed on Nolan Wells, young man that, like I said, died in Ocean Springs. They found his body in Horn Lake near Ocean Springs, Mississippi, after going out on a boat with his so-called friends. He was like the only black kid. All these white kids went to high school with him, I believe, if not all, most of them. Supposedly his friends, right? So the results from the autopsy showed that Nolan Wells, his throat was missing. What? These people are sick. These people are sick. So the official results that came back from this, once again, this independent autopsy on Nolan Wells, and the results that were released, or when the autopsy was released, it finds that His cause of death, Nolan Wells' cause of death, is undetermined. It's going to come out. The truth is going to come out. The truth always comes out. All right? And karma to you young men and their family. Well, how do you know? And I know. I know Mississippi, and I didn't have to. I have never. Well, actually, I have visited Mississippi because when I lived in Memphis, the east part of Memphis borders the northern part of Mississippi. But I never lived in Mississippi. Now, my maternal grandfather was from a little small town in Mississippi, Yazoo City. So I understand Mississippi's history. Emmett Till, 14-year-old kid from Chicago in 1955, was murdered. And they lied on him and said he whistled at a white. He was 14 years old. He wasn't thinking about whistling at no white woman. But they lied on that kid and they murdered him. They murdered him. They murdered Emmett Till and they mutilated his body. And shout out to his mom, because she made sure the world saw it. And she invited the press, and it was on the cover of Jet magazine, his mutilated face, that these demons who were never held accountable legally, they murdered this child. So I know Mississippi's history, so you can say what you want to say. Well, it ain't fair. No, what's not fair is that Nolan Wells is not here. What's not fair is that his mother and father had to bury him. And it was not fair is that you all had mutilated the body. Somehow, somebody, because there was a coroner that had his body before. Like she was taken to a morgue somewhere in or near Ocean Springs, Mississippi. I don't know if it was there or Biloxi, somewhere in that area. And by the time his family got Nolan's body and got an independent autopsy, and like I said, the results were released, and then they find out his throat was missing. Let me say this, and then I'll move on in the monologue. It's like America has gone into a time machine. We're living 1926. Basically, the things that was happening 100 years ago in 1926 are happening today in 2026. We are reliving 1926 as far as black people, as black Americans and black people in America. The same shit, so much of the same shit. Murder, mutilation, missing black kids turn up dead. And first thing they'll say, well, it was a possible suicide. No, bullshit. That kid was a star athlete. He was popular. And his so-called friends were probably jealous of him. And there's probably one or two that didn't like him. And then you mix in alcohol and drugs. Now, I can't officially confirm that, but I've been living long enough to know how this situation plays out. I saw it here. I told you, it was a young man, I can't think of his name. I was talking to my daughter, Allie, who was a friend of this kid, a black kid, who was an excellent swimmer, who went out with a bunch of white buddies, white guys. He was the only black kid, white guy, or he was the only black kid, a bunch of white guys. They all went out, hanging out on a boat. Somehow, this kid, who was an excellent swimmer, because my daughter confirmed that, because as a matter of fact, he lived right behind us. I've seen the kid, I met the kid, he was a really wonderful kid. You know, just young, smart, mannerable kid, you know, nice, handsome looking, nice looking young kid. And that group was probably jealous of that young brother too. So this scenario has played out. I told you about it was a black mom who was part of a sleepover. She was the only black woman at this sleepover with a bunch of white women. And somehow the black woman, the next morning they found her dead out by the pool at the house that she was at. And none of these white women know what happened. They don't know anything. They couldn't. Well, we didn't. We don't know. They didn't knew. None of them knew what happened. We are living in a climate now to where you have to be very careful. And if you have teenagers or even young people, you could, as a matter of fact, I had this conversation with Allie, even though I didn't have to worry about her. But we are living in a time where you have to talk to your children of all ages. You can't trust your children with white people that you don't know in America. Now, some people may say, well, that's horrible to say, and that's real. Because you don't know who to trust. Because every day I'm hearing stories, some black person, a kid, a child, a teenager, an adult, they come up missing. They were the only black person in a group of supposedly white friends, or white folks, and something that it's not accidental. And it's not a one-off or a two-off. It is the climate that we are living in that's always been America, but it has been given a permission structure by Orange Hitler and the blatant, virulent racism and hatred and bigotry with the misogyny and sexism and homophobia and all of that. With those who are racist and violent, evil, demonic races that want to destroy and kill black people just because they're black, have a permission structure and feel they can get away with it. And worst case scenario, Orange Hitler, he'll give us a pardon. So they believe that. But it's got a lot of those white nationalists and a lot of those racists that feel that way. It's gotten their asses beat because you see it on TV or you see it on video. You see it on your phones, on all these social media platforms. So Orange Hitler, he's not the cause. He's just like the avatar. The term avatar, it's like social media. You'll have like an avatar is like a picture or an image that represents who you are. So Orange Hitler is just he is the symbol. An avatar is like a symbol. He is the symbol of the violent racism that has existed in America for 407 years. It is not new. It's just been given a new permission structure. It's like a permission slip. That evil and racism and hatred, it's just been given open permission because they see their orange Lord and Savior and Master and leader saying violent racist things, passing all kind of executive orders, saying and doing everything. Hundreds of thousands of African Americans, qualified, talented African Americans, have lost their jobs. Black unemployment is at an all-time high. So we are living in a climate where you have to talk to your sons and daughters and grandchildren and nieces and nephew and be like, hey, you have to have the conversation that our grandparents or our great-grandparents had to have with our grandparents, or great-great-grandparents had to have with our great-grandparents. No, you don't want to be, you don't want to be the only black person going out with a bunch of white people, especially that you don't know. You may know one or two, but if it's a bunch, and God forbid if there's alcohol involved, folks are drinking, or getting high, doing drugs, that is a very, very lethal mix for black people. And it is. It might sound harsh, but it could save your life. Because the receipts, we have the receipts. It's happening so much. It's happening so much. It's almost hard to. It's. I don't. Let me say this. For some people, it may be hard to say. Well, why do you talk about that? You have to, because if this was happening to white people, oh, it would be on the corporate news media channels. It would be on a continuous loop, nonstop. So platforms like this one, independent media, black-owned media, like my company, like this platform, like this show, I have an obligation to make sure that everybody, especially Black Americans, are awake. I need you to be awake, to be very woke. And to be woke is to be aware, be awake, keep your eyes open, keep your head on the swivel, look around, know who's around you, know where you are, know your environment for your own safety and survival. That's the time that we're living in right now. Absolutely, positively, right now. And it may sound, well, that's sad. Or is it really? Yeah. Can't take a chance. And no, every white person isn't racist. Every white person doesn't have that level of evil, hatred, that demonic spirit. Just this sickness. It's like a cancer. Because racism is a con, but it is a sickness. To hate somebody and want to harm them and kill them because of the complexion of their skin, because of the melanin, the God-given melanin substance in their body, God-given. Because the sun activates more melanin than me, you hate me because of that? That shows that you actually hate yourself. Because you've been so brainwashed with this bullshit of race that was created by rich white people, Europeans, to distract you and basically to get you to focus on somebody else. So you won't focus on the fact that wealthy Europeans look down on poor Europeans or poor white people. That's why they created this term. Wealthy Europeans look down on poor Europeans and called them peasants. And they could marry into their families. They had gated communities. They didn't want anything to do with them. You've had wars, centuries of wars. One group of quote unquote white people or Europeans going to war against other Europeans. They looked down at them, looked down upon them, and wanted to kill them. Hitler was killing Jews. They didn't consider Jews. They didn't look at them. They were less than white people. They looked down upon them like they looked down upon black people, people who had disabilities. Just the sickness. This sickness of, I've got to dominate somebody, I got to rule over you, that I'm superior to you and I want to exterminate you and get rid of you. That is a sickness. And that is a sign of self-hate, because that's a sign of the ultimate insecurity, that you are so insecure about somebody you don't know about that you want to exterminate them or kill them. And that's been America. Yes, that has been a major. America was founded on genocide. You killed virtually, almost totally erased a whole group of humans that welcomed you into their country. And you came in and stole the land and you killed them and you gave them smallpox and then put them on reservations and carved up their land. Well, you're going to make white people feel bad about them? Well, you know what? Sometimes if you have such an evil spirit, if you have a spirit of inhumanity and evil and destruction and death, you should feel bad about that. And if that was your ancestors and you feel bad about it, that's a good thing, because that shows that you have a sense of humanity, that you realize that behavior no matter who it's coming from, is wrong. It is nothing. It's not godly. It ain't Christian. It has nothing to do with any God. Whatever name that you use for God, it has nothing to do with God. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. And people have remixed a religion in a racist, misogynist, sexist way to justify their oppression, domination, and murder and control of all type of social, economic, and political resources and wealth. Miss me with all that. All right, let me get out of here. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. There's a lot I didn't get a chance to talk about today. I will tomorrow, including, as a matter of fact, I got a guest coming on tomorrow. There's a challenge. So let me close the show with this challenge. This is the challenge to Black America. Now, the census will say, oh, black people make up, 14%. Actually, we make up more than that, probably closer to 20%, but too many black Americans don't fill out the census. But so here's the challenge. Midterm elections, about 104 days, 104 days, 104 days from election day. That's November 3rd. So that means we are less than 90 days away from early voting. So the first day, election day, is the first day of early voting wherever you live. That's the real election day. November 3rd, that's like late voting. That's like, don't even wait till then, because it's going to be all kind of bullshit going on. It's all kind of bomb threats, and polling places are going to lose power. All of a sudden, they're going to shut polling places down. They're going to try to intimidate folks. And I hope these states don't allow it, because, we're going to have ICE agents at polling places. Well, first of all, if you add steps inside a polling place, it is illegal for civilian or military. In the United States, it is a federal law against anyone, once again, be it a civilian or a member of the military, active duty or retired. It is illegal to carry any type of firearm inside a polling place. Now, they may stand outside a polling place. Fuck them. Let them stand out there, because we're going to show up in numbers like we are showing up to the Essence Festival, like we are showing up to see Jay-Z or if Frankie Beverly was alive. Like the way folks are showing up to see Usher and Chris Brown. Essence Festival had like almost 80,000 people every night for 3 nights. I'm gonna need Black America, and not just Black America, but I'm talking to my community and my culture. The white folks that lean into humanity, you need to pay attention to, because it's a choice between humanity and inhumanity. These labels, throw that shit out. Those labels are a distraction. Oh, this and it's socialist, communist. Are you leaning into humanity? Are you concerned about people having and being able to afford health care, housing, food, groceries, child care? That's it. Being able to make a real living wage, to where you don't have to work 3 jobs just to pay your rent. I didn't say all your monthly expenses. I just said your rent. I ain't said nothing about car note, insurance, light bill, water bill, groceries, gas. I didn't talk about just 3 jobs, just to try to scrape up enough money just to cover your rent or your mortgage. That shit is wrong. And you got billionaires getting tax breaks. You got billionaires, Elon Musk getting $8 million. His companies get $8 million a day of American taxpayer money. Miss me with the bullshit. So Black America, I leave you with this challenge. And this, I will guarantee, if we do this, I guarantee you that all of this bullshit that you're seeing, it will stop. and it will stop. It'll start to shut down November 4th. Now, they're gonna fight, and your boy Orange Hill, they're gonna play all kind of funny games, all kind of old bullshit. But I promise you, I guarantee you, if we rise to this challenge, we can shut this shit down. If 80% of all the registered black voters, I'm not even talking about, register new voters, and we need register new black voters, but just the black people that are already registered to vote. If 80% of the registered black voters across America in every state show up, and at least 80% of us, which will do that, 92% of black women voted for humanity against hatred. 80% of black men voted for humanity over hatred. So we got the receipts. We didn't vote for this orange bullshit, but we didn't show out. We didn't show up, and we didn't show out in the numbers that we needed to. As a matter of fact, the black turnout in the last presidential election was down. It was under 60%. Just imagine if 80% of all the registered black voters would have showed up in 2024, as opposed to less than 60%. We wouldn't be in this bullshit. Even with 53% of white women who voted for a dude that said on tape, you can grab him by the pussy, who said that you can sexually assault a woman, and they were okay with it. They were good with it. Even with that, we won't even have to worry. But there's more and more, even a significant number of these MAGA cult members, especially these poor white MAGA cult members, are realizing, oh shit, I'm paying $5 a gas per gallon. And this lettuce with this cyclospora, however you pronounce it, oh shit, somebody in my family got that explosive diarrhea because the Food and Drug Administration, they're not doing anything to inspect the food the way they need to. I can't afford groceries now. I can't afford my rent or my mortgage. I can't afford childcare. Oh, so you thought your whiteness and that red hat was somehow going to save you? When you go to the pump and pump your gas, that red hat don't mean a goddamn thing. Because that pump says $5. So whatever label you have, whatever color hat you got on, it don't matter. $5. That's it. Go to the grocery store, you don't get a discount. That red hat don't get you a discount. Not at all. Has it? Not. When it's time to pay your energy bill, that red hat don't get a final notice and see how that work out. Oh, but I'm MAGA. Well, great, but we need our money. They don't give a shit about that. The people in power, they look at you like a dumbass. So once again, Black America, here is our challenge. I will guarantee you, if 80% of all the registered black voters in America show up, early vote. We're not waiting until November 3rd. If 80% of the registered black voters in America show up and just vote for humanity, for the common good of everybody, even people that don't like us, even for some of these racist assholes that don't realize that they wouldn't be in this situation. You would have 18 American soldiers dead because of this bullshit. So now they're realizing, oh, wait a minute, hold on. He said that he was going to reduce the price. Everything is more expensive by a lot. And it's hitting their pockets too. And their whiteness and that red cap is not saving their ass. It ain't doing them a damn bit of good. And they're like, wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. I thought my whiteness and I love Trump and I MAGA. MAGA your ass to the poorhouse. Try showing up, try going to see a doctor with no health insurance, but just with that red cap. They'll run your ass up out of there. All right, that's the challenge. We can do it, Black America. We've done it before. We did it over 100 years ago. The beginning of they call Reconstruction, where you had countless number. South Carolina had, like, I believe, 2 black senators or 2 members of the House. I'm talking about like the U.S. House of Representatives, I believe, and I think they had a U.S. senator. I get that information because, as a matter of fact, one of my guests, we talked about it. He'll be back on too. 80%. I say, let's go for 100%. 100% of registered black voters need to show up. So that means we can't settle for less, but I guarantee you, if 80% of all the registered black voters in America show up, we can salvage this bullshit. But we got to save it and remix it. We got to fix this shit and fix it for everybody. And that's what black people do. Barack Obama made sure that they passed the Affordable Care Act thing, and they tried to slur it by calling it Obamacare. And you had poor, uneducated, racist ass white people say, "Oh, I hate Obamacare." And it turned out that health care that they hated was the health care that they got through their state because different states gave it different names. And you had some of these dumbasses who had signed up for Obamacare and didn't even know it. And some of them signed up for that health care and it saved their lives. That's the sickness of racism. That your hatred is stronger than your sense of survival. That your hate is stronger than your will to want to live and be healthy. That is a sickness. But that's America. That's the United States. And it's not just the United States. Hello, Israel. Hello, Argentina. All these European countries ain't much better. That's a whole different monologue for a different show. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, and especially you, God, most of all. Thank you for letting me do the Geno Show. Shout out to everybody in the conversation in my chat room. The show is interactive. So when I'm on camera live, please join me. And if you got a question or a comment, jump in that chat room. Let me hear what you got to say. All right. Monday through Friday, 7:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 Central Time, 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast. If you're on Mountain Time, if you're in Denver, Colorado, Mountain Time, that's 5 o'clock, 5:30. Now, we are going to have a new start time. We are weeks away from our new start time, 7 p.m. as opposed to 7:30. It'll be 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. on the West Coast. Weeks away. But tomorrow, our regular start time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We got another guest. There's a slate of candidates running for various state offices here in South Carolina. We have a gentleman named Vincent Coe. He is running for one of the state offices here along. We have Dr. Jermaine Johnson, who's running for governor. This brother is amazing, a brilliant brother. Looking forward to getting him on the show. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make a call as soon as I end the show. Once again, it's so important that we support black-owned media, our independent media. It is so important to have platforms to speak truth to power. Or as my grandmother says, tell the truth, shame the devil. And your financial support, it is crucial. It is so important. So I want to thank everybody in advance. However you feel, however you want to bless the show financially, you can do it via Zelle, Cash App, or become a sponsor. Now, you can Zelle the show. You can use Zelle to support this media company, my media company, and this show financially. No amount is too small or too large. Now, to Zelle your financial support, use my email, which is Gmail. It is GenoJonesShow. That's how you spell Geno Jones. There's no the, just Geno Jones Show at Gmail. All one word, Geno Jones Show at Gmail. You got that? You can use Cash App, $ Dad G Jones. It's $, capital D, lowercase a d, capital G J, lowercase ONES. That's on Cash App. Now, if you'd like to be a sponsor or advertise, use that same email address, GenoJonesShow at Gmail. That's how you spell it, all one word. Once again, no amount is too small or too large, so you can hit Zelle right now. Use my email address. You can hit Cash App, $ Dad G Jones. You can shoot me an email to GenoJonesShow at Gmail, and I will send you a sponsorship package with all the information. And I'd love to have you as a sponsor of the Geno Jones Show. Shout out to Allie Jones. She is the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check her and her Lexi Jones collection out on Instagram, IG. Instead of saying Instagram, some folks say IG. So it's lx.ncl_. lx.n like Nanette, C like Charlie, L like Lexi _. Shout out to Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist. For the show, you can check him out on Instagram on IG, Kel B Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP. CEO Designer Cuts, you find him on Instagram. All right, or you can download that app too, Designer Cuts, you'll find it. I love you. And real love, it is a verb. And a verb, it shows action. A verb is all about action. So it's an action word. Show somebody you love them. We'll see you live Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central Time, 4:30 p.m. out on the West Coast. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll holler!
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.